There's a lot of different signs that you may be mentally burnt out. Today I'm going to go over all of those signs and also how to tackle them so that you can feel less burnt out. So keep watching. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aditi for everyone that is new. And today we're going to be talking about the signs of burnout and how to feel less burnt out, as I mentioned in the intro. And yeah, let's just get started with the video. So what burnout actually is basically just being like emotionally disengaged with things. So it's like not feeling how you usually are feeling about things. So one major sign of burnout is the fact that you aren't really like engaging or enjoying the things that you usually enjoy. So for me, I think I mentioned this before in previous videos, but I really like dancing. If there's ever a time where I'm not feeling like dancing and I'm just not feeling like it's going to give me any joy, that may indicate that I am burnt out. But like obviously it doesn't have to be dancing. It can literally be anything that you usually enjoy but just aren't right now. One way to tackle that actually is to try and be more creative in some way. So like an example of that can be like drawing or painting. You literally don't have to be good at art to like take enjoyment in drawing or painting or like anything art related. But yeah, like I've seen on the internet that creativity is actually like a powerful antidote for burning out. So I think that doing something of the sort, like something artistic, it doesn't have to be art, it can be music as well. Perhaps just sitting down and playing that instrument or standing up if it's a standing up instrument. But you know, like something along those lines, that can be a really good way of trying to tackle your burnout. Another sign of burnout is isolation or kind of just emotionally distancing yourself. One form of this could be like not replying to texts. I think that when I burn out, this is probably something that I end up doing. So I'm sorry if you've texted me and I haven't replied. It either means that I'm really, really busy or that I've burnt out. So I think with things like that, it's okay to not reply to text because obviously you're not in the right frame of mind, you're not in the right mindset. But I think that the issue happens when it like becomes a long period of time. Someone you usually talk to every day, you're suddenly not replying to anymore. Firstly, they're gonna be like, okay, what's happening? And secondly, it kind of just means there's something wrong. I personally am an extrovert, so I gain my energy through socializing a lot of the time. I mean, obviously there's times that we all want to be alone, but with introversion, they get their energy from being alone. But there's definitely a difference between being an introvert and burning out. When it comes to burning out, I think it's more about shutting yourself off more than you usually do. So if you like tend to socialize quite a lot and then you start not socializing a lot, that may indicate burnout. One way that I go about it is to just spend time with my family at that point, especially my sister, and I think that helps me personally quite a lot. But I understand that if you are feeling burnt out, then perhaps isolation is more what you need, like just the need to spend time alone. But remember, when it becomes like a prolonged sort of isolation, that's when a problem sort of occurs. But please just don't forget that you aren't in it alone. There are people around you, whether that be friends, whether that be family, co-workers, people at school, teachers even. There are people around you that can help. And even in a pandemic, there are virtual ways of getting help. I think another big sign of burnout, especially when it comes to like academia or like work, that sort of thing, is just a loss of motivation to be productive. I actually have a video on how to find motivation and all of that, so I'm going to link it in the card above. But in terms of burnout, it's very much sort of procrastinating on things and kind of just leaving them because you don't want to deal with it right now. And usually that's because of the studying or the work that you've done before has either been really boring and you've just not enjoyed it, or secondly, it's been really, really stressful for you. Either of those things can lead to a burnout and therefore making you procrastinate. But one really good way to get around that is literally to just go take a walk. So just go outside, get some fresh air, and the fact that you're literally changing scenery, that in itself helps you to become more productive and more motivated to do things. And the walk doesn't have to be long either. Even if it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like just around your block, that is absolutely fine. But yeah, just remember that you're trying to get out the cycle of procrastination, not add to it. So if you really want to be productive and have that sense of accomplishment, then taking an hour walk is probably just going to add to your procrastination and kind of just make the cycle even worse. So just be wary of how much time you are spending on your walk if productivity is a goal of yours on that day. Also, this is one that I've actually found personally. So I think that when I spend loads of time like on my phone or a laptop, I get burnt out. Like, even if I don't do anything on that day, even if I am just procrastinating on my phone or on my laptop, I tend to feel burnt out. And I think other people have experienced this as well. So for that, literally just limit your screen time to only go on your phone or your laptop when necessary. And also remember that watching TV is also screen time. Even if it's on a proper TV, it is still screen time. So be wary of how much TV you're watching on days like that as well. I know on iPhone, I'm not entirely sure about Android, but they may have something similar. If not, you can probably just get an app. But yeah, on iPhone they show screen time, and that's something that I use like every single day just to make sure that my screen time isn't too high for the day. And remember, the burnout isn't usually caused by just one thing, it's usually caused by multiple things coming together. So yeah, try and limit your screen time where you can. And not just for burnout, but lower screen time will do you more good than high screen time any day. On days where I have really high screen time, I tend to just do like a meditation, and I find that that is a really conscious way of taking me away from screens and just being with myself. It's a really good way of staying in the present, whereas with screens and sort of phones and laptops, we tend to be sort of not in the present anymore. We kind of just go into this like zone, and it doesn't have to be a long meditation. It can just be 10 minutes. I usually do 10-minute meditations. I find that 5-minute meditations tend to be too short. They're kind of just over before you even start. So I do 10-minute meditations. I think I may bump that up to 15-minute meditations soon, but at the minute it is 10. But there are some really good ones on YouTube. Literally, you just type in 10-minute meditation and they'll all come up. And finally, the last sign of burnout that I want to mention is just feeling tired in general. And not like physically tired as such, like mentally tired. I know there are times where you can get like mentally tired but not physically tired. Like, you want to do stuff and you know that you can do stuff, like physically your body is up to it, but you just can't mentally. I think that's the most annoying thing. For that, I would say that if you have a really busy schedule, try and like cancel some things, try and reschedule some things, try not to like bunch everything up into a few days, kind of spread them out. It will give you a lot of relief because you won't feel like on the edge throughout that period of time where you're busy. So that's it for the signs, but 2 more ways on how you can actually tackle the burnout. And the first one is exercise. So when I get burnt out, I tend to have like a sort of routine, sort of schedule of how I should like tackle it. And it's not like a hard and fast, oh yeah, do everything by this time sort of schedule. It's kind of like some ideas of what I can do. So one of them is meditation, as you mentioned earlier. One of them is spending time with family. One of them is going on a walk. And also another one is exercise, and it doesn't have to be long. Literally just 5 to 10 minutes of moving your body will help so much. And it's all because of the hormones that your body creates when you exercise. So I think it's endorphins that the body creates. I have no idea if that's right, but it's like happy hormones that your body creates. And those happy hormones can literally fight against burnout. Because like, as we said, burnout is about being emotionally disengaged. So if these hormones can create like these positive emotions within you, then that's going to help. To me, one thing that's very characteristic of being burnt out is just the feeling of being empty and not having anything to look forward to, nothing to make me happy as such. And if it's the evening that I'm feeling burnt out, then again, my burnout is very much characterized by, oh, can this day end? Can I just go to sleep? I feel almost emotionless, I think, when I become burnt out. But in my opinion, the best way to tackle burnout is literally just to take a break from whatever it is that you feel emotionally disengaged from. So whether it be studying or whether it be working, anything like that, if you can afford it, please just take some time off. It's going to help you so much in the long run. By thinking about different things, by thinking about new things, by, again, nourishing your creative side, and doing all the things that we mentioned earlier in this video. By doing everything, you're recharging your batteries. Because, I mean, when batteries run low, they don't work, do they? Same with you. So make sure that you recharge your batteries, and by having this break, that's exactly what you're going to be able to do. If you get this burnout feeling towards the evening or even maybe just afternoon, just take the day off from there as well. I find that really helps. I also think going to sleep a bit earlier helps too. Like, the way I see it is that you're ending today, a burnt out day, probably like an iffy day, you know, not the best of days. But when you go to sleep early, you end up waking up early most of the time. And personally, because I'm a morning person, I find that waking up early actually helps me be more productive throughout the whole day. And that automatically gets rid of my burnout feeling. So that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. Also subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. If you have any tips and tricks on avoiding burnout or dealing with burnout, then leave them in the comments below. But yeah, that's all from me. I will see you later. Bye.